Good evening. Jamaica recorded 2 additional COVID-19 related deaths yesterday, January 12, taking the total of fatalities from the virus now to 317. Now, the deceased are a 69-year-old woman from Hanover and a 71-year-old man from St. James. The Health Ministry says the death of the 71-year-old was previously under investigation. Meanwhile, there were 92 new cases, taking the total of cases now to 13,852, with 1,808 active cases. Of the new cases, 43 are males and 49 are females, ranging in age from 2 to 82 years. The newly confirmed cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 28 cases, St. James, 17, St. Catherine, 10 cases, St. Thomas recorded 10 cases as well, Clarendon recorded 8 cases, Manchester and St. Anne both recorded 6 cases each, St. Elizabeth and Trelawney both recorded 2 cases, and Portland, St. Mary and Westmoreland 1 case each. Now, the transmission of the new cases is under investigation. In the meantime, there were 42 additional recoveries, increasing the total of persons that have recovered to 11,568. 98 persons are currently hospitalized, 6 of whom are moderately ill and 7 who are critically ill. 13 persons are in government quarantine, while 27,603 persons are at home. Still making news tonight, there is a COVID-19 alarm at the Freeport Police Station in Montego Bay, St. James, where reports have surfaced that a number of inmates and officers there have displayed symptoms believed to be COVID-19. It has also been reported that representatives from the health authority are now conducting a number of tests at the facility, but have not yet indicated if anyone has tested positive for the virus. Now, a representative from the Cornwall Bar Association stated that if inmates show a positive result, it will impact their representation. He further stated that events such as identification parades, bail applications, and appearances in court will be affected if cases of COVID-19 are discovered at the facility. On Monday, the parish of St. James recorded 34 positive cases of COVID-19, with an overall total of 1,446 positive cases. In other news tonight, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, has reported that its main office located at 24 Church Street in Kingston was closed to the public yesterday for a deep cleaning exercise, as a member of staff tested positive for COVID-19 on Monday. Now, during yesterday's council meeting, Deputy Mayor Winston Ennis said that in keeping with efforts to minimize the risk associated with the virus, the exercise was comprised of the necessary deep cleaning measures to further protect the public and staff of the corporation.
A member of the mayor's staff tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, the municipality office has been ordered closed today for deep cleaning and sanitizing. The mayor has immediately self-quarantined and will remain in quarantine while arrangements are made for the health authorities to conduct his test. Allow me to state that although the employee tested positive yesterday, they have been in quarantine since last week and have not had contact with the mayor since January 1st, 2021.
The deputy mayor further cautioned the council to take every precaution to protect themselves from COVID-19.
COVID-19 is real. It is real. And we are to take all the precaution we can take to protect ourselves and our loved ones. So I'm asking all of us that is present here to make sure we are a mask, make sure we sanitize. If you're going to be seated somewhere and you're not comfortable, walk with your Lysol and do the things that is necessary to make sure you help to defeat COVID-19. It is real. I am seeing people with my own eyes that have COVID-19 and it's not looking good. And I'm asking each and every one of us to protect ourselves and our family and our loved ones from COVID-19.
The KSAMC says they regret any inconvenience to the public, and the office reopened for business at the usual hours of 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. today. In the meantime, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has reported that the COVID-19 surge in the parish of Westmoreland has eased, and that the parish is no longer considered the country's major hotspot for the pandemic. As a result, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton says there will not be an extension to the enhanced COVID-19 measures for the parish. He made the disclosure yesterday during the sitting of the House of Representatives. Now, the enhanced COVID-19 measures from the parish will expire this Friday, January 15. Dr. Tufton said, and I quote, "We thank the citizens of the parish, especially their elected officials, for their support and cooperation, and advise that only through your maintenance of the protocols can we maintain and further reduce the spread of the disease." End quote. Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton, while also speaking in the House of Representatives, said there is now an alarm over the uncontrolled increase in the number of confirmed cases in the parishes of Manchester and St. Anne. The health minister also stated that as at January 11, St. Anne had 75 active cases, while Manchester had 68 active cases of COVID-19, and when assessed by population, St. Anne had a positivity rate of 35 per 100,000, while Manchester was 43 per 100,000 persons. He also stated that the health authorities in both parishes have already started to step up prevention activities by increasing testing and contact tracing, especially with those persons considered to be most vulnerable. Still tonight, Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett has revealed that urgent steps are being taken to ramp up Jamaica's COVID-19 testing capacity amid reports of expected changes in testing requirements by one of the country's largest tourism source markets, the United States of America. Mr. Bartlett said, and I quote, "Like all other nations, we understand the need to protect citizens and to put measures in place to help reduce the spread of this deadly virus. It is for this reason the government of Jamaica and key partners are putting measures in place to boost the COVID-19 testing capacity locally." End quote. Now, the new order, which is expected to take effect on January 26, 2021, was announced by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention yesterday, with plans to issue an order for all airline passengers from international destinations to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test before boarding flights to the United States. This comes on the heels of a similar COVID-19 test requirement by the governments of Canada and the UK, which also requires all persons flying to those countries to present negative test results to facilitate entry or to avoid self-quarantine. Minister Bartlett added that these growing changes in testing requirements within the travel industry will undoubtedly cause a setback in the economic recovery of small vulnerable destinations globally. However, the government will continue to work closely with all local and international tourism partners to ensure the safety of our citizens and visitors. According to the Wall Street Journal, the CDC's order for universal testing of passengers, including for U.S. citizens returning from abroad, comes weeks after the U.S. government imposed the testing requirement for travelers from the UK over concerns about a more infectious strain of the virus that was detected there. Continuing with the news tonight, an Ananda alert has been activated for 15-year-old Devontae Murdoch, otherwise called Dido, of Old Friendship Lane, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, who has been missing since Saturday, January 2. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and is about 5 feet 3 inches tall. Reports from the Spanish Town Police coming into our news center are that Devontae was last seen at his father's night on January 2. His mode of dress at the time he went missing is unknown. All efforts to contact him since then have been unsuccessful. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Devontae Murdoch is being asked to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2305, Police 119 Emergency, or the nearest police station. In other news tonight, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has condemned the killing of 4-year-old Chloe Brown at her home in Freeman's Hall, Trelawney on Monday, and stated that he has been left heartbroken over her death. The Prime Minister said, as a father, he was crushed by the news of the death of this innocent child as she was killed in her bed, which is a place where she was supposed to be most protected, and devastatingly, that is where she was killed. He further stated that Jamaicans are to use mediation and dispute resolution platforms to handle disagreements without resorting to violence and force, and that the level of violence in Jamaica is alarmingly high and is stunting the growth and development of the country. In the meanwhile, the Trelawney police say they are now closer to laying criminal charges against the 2 men who were detained in connection with the murder of the 4-year-old girl and the shooting and wounding of her father. Reports from the police coming into our news center are that the child's father and his younger brother got in a family dispute when the accused allegedly threatened the life of his older brother. Further reports are that shortly after 1:30 a.m., the victim was at home in bed with other family members when he was awoken by a masked man standing over his bed with a firearm. Now, he attempted to disarm the gunman and was shot in his leg. The perpetrator then turned the weapon on Chloe and shot her in the abdomen before fleeing the scene. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has expressed outrage at the fatal shooting of 4-year-old Chloe Brown in Trelawney on Monday, stating that, and I quote, "We are deeply saddened by Chloe's murder, and we strongly condemn the use of children, women, and the elderly as collateral for domestic disputes, gang violence, and all other forms of crime," end quote. The minister vowed that, with the aid of Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson, quote, "We will see to it that the perpetrators who have been arrested and charged for Chloe's murder face the full brunt of the law," end quote. Now, Dr. Chang added that Jamaica is depending on the institution of family to help curb crime and deviance by playing a vital role in the orderly society which Jamaica must become. The National Security Minister said that family is needed to protect one another and not incite vicious crimes such as murder. Still making news tonight, 28-year-old Prince Levy, a customs services agency of Stanbury Grove, Sligoville in St. Catherine, has been charged with murder. Levy has been charged in connection with the death of 42-year-old Greg Boyden, who was killed along the Michael Manley Boulevard in Kingston on Tuesday, January 5. Police reports coming into our news center tonight are that at approximately 9:50 a.m., Levy and the deceased were involved in a physical confrontation when he reportedly used a large stone to hit him in the region of his head. Levy fled the scene on a motorcycle. The police were then summoned, and upon their arrival, the wounded man was rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. In other news tonight, the William Knibb High School teacher who was terminated after pulling his licensed firearm during a confrontation with a student on March 24 of 2017 has won his appeal against his dismissal. The teacher, Ali Abdallah, was fired 4 months later by the board at the Trelawney-based institution on the basis that his temperament was not healthy for the school environment and that he was a danger and also a serious threat to the safety and security to the school community. Immediately after being fired, the teacher filed an appeal to the Teachers' Appeal Tribunal, which heard the matter on August 24 of last year and made a ruling in his favor on December 3. Now, it is reported that in March of 2017, the teacher and a male student had an argument over the boy not being in class. He then attempted to reprimand the student, who attacked him with a stone. Now, in his defense, Abdallah reportedly pulled his licensed firearm, and the student subsequently ran from the school's compound. The teacher told the tribunal that the decision to terminate his service due to the nature of the incident was excessive, to which they agreed and stated that there was not enough evidence to prove that the teacher intended to harm the student. And those are the stories making news. I am Shelly-Ann Hill. We will now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.